up next, we have the partner of Consentium and EMOJIS.
Hello. Let me just share my screen real quick. You seeing my screen, Ted?
Yep, we can see it.
Oh, wait. How about now? Is it okay?
Yep, we can see.
All right. Okay, yeah. So thanks everyone for joining, and thanks for to Blog Life Asia, Ted and group for inviting us. And yeah, it's my honor really to share about this project. So I'm from the Consentium team, and I know a lot of people have questions about emoji that comes at the end, and really this presentation is for me to introduce the Consentium app for people who have not actually seen this, and also to just give you some background on what we're doing, why we're doing it, as well as the different milestones that we have already done. Yeah. So what is Consentium? Consentium is a chat application. From the very beginning, we always sat down as a team, as an international team, and said, how can we revolutionize chat? How can we do it better? How do we make it more inclusive to the different crypto groups and communities? And above all, how do we bring crypto functions and how do we bring crypto native products into the chat application and allow people to both chat and do crypto transactions seamlessly? So this was our aim, right? And we have even prior to launching it in 2018, we already sat down, we did wireframes, we did the whole white paper concept, just trying to hash out the ideal chat application. So it was certainly a couple of years in the making, and a lot of us were involved in crypto from an early stage. Well, I won't dare say 2011, but around 2015, 2016, that was the time where most of the team members were actually in crypto. So we saw that need. We saw that need for communities in China. We saw the need for communities in Europe and even Greater Asia itself. Okay, so a lot has changed, and you would notice in the second line we say that Consentium aims to be the first crypto super app, right? And this is certainly true today, where we see that apps cannot simply exist with a single function, right? And certainly chat apps, the likes of WeChat, for example, the likes of Telegram, are loading on a lot of functionalities, right? Without further ado, let me just go on to talk about some of these things. Now, before that, I think this has been pretty well documented in our history. So in the ICO process, as well as equity fundraise, Consentium had a very sizable runway. And ever since the ICO process, the token sales process, we have continued to build our community of token holders, users across the exchanges, across the different chat communities that we've built. And certainly over the different permutations and the different products that we continue to ship within the Consentium app itself, as well as the partner groups. A partner group would, for example, be something like Emoji, which I'll discuss later. So some of the milestones, we have our version 2.0 release, and right now we are working on 3.0. In fact, we are bypassing these versions altogether, and I think we are coming very close to the eventual chat super app that we have, which I'll touch base on a bit in a while. We have done many different listings across different exchanges. Notably, we have gone on to Binance DEX and among others. And I think we have ensured a certain level of liquidity for Consentium tokens all this while. The other thing that I think is very significant and worth mentioning certainly is that we have migrated in 2020, the end of 2019 towards the beginning of this year. we actually migrated to our own chain, the CSM chain. And a large part of the reason why we left the ERC20 format is because two reasons, right? The first one is in order to be a crypto native product, right, running on a chat application and to really be inclusive to all the different blockchain technologies out there, we find ourselves having to rely more on a native blockchain, right, for the reasons of saving transaction fees, for the reasons of speed, so on and so forth. So everyone who is familiar, and I think most of you are, will understand certain limitations in Ethereum right now. And certainly, of course, with Ethereum 2.0, a lot of these problems would undoubtedly go away. But in the meanwhile, we needed something for us to build our products and continue to ship products via our own native technology. So that's what we did. It was a long drawn process. And as you can imagine, we went through many different versions before we eventually had a working product that could process thousands of transactions per second and is able to feed majority of our needs. And the fourth thing is right now, actually, as we speak, we are launching the EMOJIS farm, and EMOJIS is a byproduct of the Consentium system. It's a community-led partner product, and I have some slides later to just discuss this briefly. But it is an essential part of what we are. If you look at like chat applications, right, a lot of them are more fun today. Certainly, we have to look at millennials. We have to look at the Gen Zs, right, who are fast taking over the world, and these are the ones we are designing a chat application or a super app for. So when we looked at this, we realized that we needed a fun product, something that would make a lot of sense, particularly with crypto natives. We want them to embrace a product that makes sense. So when we looked at the current space over the past 4 to 5 months, the one thing that struck to us is DeFi, right? The big word, decentralized finance. And we saw that there was an opportunity to do two things. Number one is to leverage on the different communities that have established themselves, like in a very decentralized nature, through to the way blockchain is done. And the best way to leverage on this community is to help them or promote liquidity, right? Through our own network of investors, traders, and just anyone who is involved in cryptocurrency alike. And in doing so, while supporting their liquidity, we would be able to include them, right, in the Consentium overarching chat application system. And this helps a lot because the main thing you need when you launch any product is adoption, right? So you could throw money at the problem, right? You could spend a whole lot in terms of marketing, and you could throw a whole lot in terms of paid advertising, things like that. The problem with that is the ultimate value doesn't actually go to the user, right? You're subsidizing the user's adoption on your app, but does that actually pay back and self-sustain a system? The answer is generally no, right? Very few chat applications have gone on to become very sustainable kind of businesses, right, with good revenue streams. Very few. There are notably some that have stood up, but majority are looking for that grand exit, which is not quite the aim and mandate of Consentium itself. So these are the different milestones that we have gone. I'm still talking about the milestones. And we have different partners, as I said, different exchanges, banking partners that we are integrating into the larger system. Bear in mind, as I said earlier, we're not just content with being a chat application. Certainly, we need to be good at that. But I think today, the idea is how we can leverage on chat, how we can leverage on community, and bring it forward to become a singular place where a lot of these functions can actually happen. And since we have our own protocol, we have our own blockchain, it makes a lot of sense that we become interoperable with different blockchains. We become interoperable with different dApps, right, who are promoting their own use cases, who are promoting their own communities in the blockchain for them to actually use us. And how would that happen? Through chat itself, because the power of chat means that communication ultimately is the single force that can bring everyone together. Okay, so the next one, as I said, is the upcoming app. So we would be integrating with Web3 wallet, and I would admit that a large part of pushing for the Web3 wallet comes on the back of DeFi. It comes on the back of the fact that we are promoting our own dApp, right, so to speak, in terms of the emoji farms, right, which I'll talk about very shortly. So just very briefly, just going through, these are just some of the things that we've done in the community and different roadshows that we have done. These are some of our partners that we have worked with in one way or another. Different media mentions. I'll just briefly go through this. Okay. So there are game changers, and I just want to spend a bit of time talking about our Consentium chain because, as I said earlier, that's something significant. That's something that we have spent a lot of time building, a lot of time conceptualizing. So Ethereum has its limitations, and undoubtedly, we decided to move with our own chain. So we reviewed different feasibility and scalability conditions within the Ethereum network before we decided our own protocol. So just now I mentioned that at the end of 2019, early 2020, we actually introduced the chain. Now, officially, it's May 2020 that we like to use the date that the chain actually went live. But a lot of the developments and open beta testing actually occurred before that as well. So what is CSM chain and what makes it different? Well, we are the CSM chain forms the governance model for the entire protocol, and with this comes stakeholders, it comes service providers and people who naturally want to have skin in the game in terms of the communication network that we're trying to establish, and for them to actually have and run node-based infrastructure. So some of these people are investors in the Consentium project itself, and a lot of them want to see how a system like this a communication system like this could actually go forth in the long haul. And so most of these people who are running nodes today on our infrastructure are actually in this in the long haul game with us. So some technical benefits, these are not terribly innovative per se, right? I mean, a lot of projects actually talk about things like how we are able to process speeds or thousands of transactions per second using our consensus model, which is not new, right? It's a delegated proof of stake model. But you see, this is native to us. And because it's native to us, the sole use case for this protocol right now is to run the communication on this chain. This gives us a lot of room for scalability. This gives us a lot of room to build on these expansionary aspects of our chain. And this gives us a lot of room to build on the consensus system and to allow us to bring value back to the token holders for people who are staking, for people who are running nodes and the like. Now, I'm going to spend a bit of time on EMOJIS Farm. So EMOJIS Farm is a partner project, like I said. It's a complementary brand to Consentium. For people who are joining us just now, I want to elaborate some points that I made earlier regarding a project like this. So as the Consentium team looked at looked at what was happening, over the last 4 to 6 months, DeFi stood out, right? The idea of decentralized finance permeating so much of the crypto space right now, and arguably, controlling a whole lot of attention. Now, attention is a big word, and this is something that, as a chat application, as a protocol, we need to jostle and fight for, right? And attention has a lot of power, and the people who can command that would generally reap the benefits, right? And in our case, we need to establish market leadership in terms of the chat application. We need to establish mass adoption. So naturally, we looked at the DeFi space and we said, look, how can we make it better? How can we actually ride on this space to be more inclusive to crypto natives, right? Crypto investors, crypto traders, crypto mass adoption, and get them involved with our app, get them excited about where the Consentium system is going. So naturally, we said, let's provide some liquidity to the different communities using some of the DeFi instruments that we are looking at in the markets today. We have been assessing this space for a while, looking at what works, what doesn't work, and how do we build a system that can sustain and build something that we are able to bring value rather than take value. So, even in Emojis Farm, for example, the team doesn't actually sell tokens and make money off it, right? That's not what the intent was, and that was never the intent moving forward. Instead, what we're looking at is to have a fair distribution mechanism, distribute emojis the best way we know how into different communities, and let it go. Like it's an experiment for sure, but one that I think we have a lot of careful control and careful visibility over to ensure that there's no like catastrophic failure. Now we are of course learning. I think even as we push out this concept, I think people who have been monitoring it would have seen some delays here and there, certainly. But essentially, I think we are ready to ship. You should be expecting the different posts to be up by tomorrow, and then for the different communities to be able to actually farm, right? The emojis token as we go on in the name of distribution and getting emojis. So a question that would undoubtedly be asked, right, is what is the utility for emoji? Like what exactly is it used for? So I think this is no doubt something that we are very serious about, and we're looking to build a real use case around the emoji token. We are a chat app, and some of you guys who have seen the way we the banners, right, introducing Consentium, we're talking about tokenizing chat. So one way to do that is to use the existing Consentium protocol. But that one has so much history, right? With so many super nodes, all the different things on that. And we feel that it's timely for us to use DeFi and the very fact that DeFi draws such a strong crypto native kind of support, and look at how we can actually tokenize chat in a way previously thought not possible, right? So for example, we would be having a lot of the different systems within our chat application become clear revenue streams. So in future, when you were to own or buy emojis, you could actually use these tokens to transact, and for people who are generating stickers, right, they will be able to be paid and transact using this. So that's just a small part, but I think the larger portion is that this is here to stay. We are going to have the idea of DeFi communities directly integrate through our Web3 wallet on our chat application, and be able to transact and swap tokens directly on the chat application, right? And the liquidity has to be from somewhere, fronted from somewhere. And we intend to use Emojis Farm, no doubt as an experiment currently, but we want to build on this concept, build on this farm to become the liquidity pool for our chat application and the chat swap on our Web3 wallet to sustain. Unfortunately, I don't have the wireframes ready for you to show you exactly what we are doing, but you can imagine as a team, we have always gotten our heads down and tried to ship product, and this is something that we're very proud of, and hopefully we can actually release it very soon to you guys. So yeah, this is just a concept of different pools. I think for more information, really, it would be useful for you to head over down to our emoji sites and really look at some of the concepts that we are putting on here. I won't be able to do it justice in just a 5-minute, 10-minute talk about emojis. Look at this, and then if you have any questions, feel free to go into our chat groups, go into our social media, and just post them to us. And then I promise we'll be responsive to these things. Yeah. So thank you. That's what I have. If I have any questions, let me just go back. Okay, what is this? Okay, yeah. So our farm contract is out. If there's a question from DeFi Granny, farm contract is out. You're able to farm on Etherscan while waiting for our UI. As I said, UI will be out tomorrow, and then you will be able to farm. I think we already had quite a good response in terms of the LP that people have donated and committed to. Yep. So that's what I have. Over to you, Ted.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Thank you so much for sharing. So that's all we have for today. Please do remember to follow our socials to keep up to date. And we will be hosting more Block Live Asias. So please follow our socials, and we are still live. And we hope you make good investments in the DeFi space and continue to learn more. Do join our communities. Thank you very much, guys.